Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Thunder Bay District Social Services Board's 2024 budget proposes an 8% increase in total spending.
A large part of that is to go to housing and homelessness prevention, as DSAB officials are planning significant projects to support those areas. Vasilios Bellis is following the story and joins us live in the studio with the details. Vasilios?
Thanks, Riley. The DSAB's 2024 budget proposes a nearly 19% spending increase for housing and homeless initiatives, thanks to a major provincial investment last year. The organization is working on a number of housing projects that could result in dozens of new transitional and supportive units. Despite efforts from the Thunder Bay District Social Services Board to hold the line, its proposed 2024 budget comes with a hefty rise in spending.
Try to keep it to about a 3% increase, but it became obvious to us that that just wasn't possible.
The board discussed next year's budget at a meeting on Thursday, which proposes an 8% increase in spending over last year. That equates to just under $120 million in spending, with upper levels of government covering more than $84 million. A significant contributor to the increase comes from homeless prevention and housing operations, 18.7% higher than in 2023. CAO Bill Bradicus says there's assistance coming, with 4 supportive and transitional housing projects currently in the works, resulting in dozens of new units.
A number of the projects are actually repurposing of existing properties and will not take as long to be in service as, say, a new build.
The units will be made available thanks to provincial support, with the DSAB waiting on Ontario to make the formal announcement. This budget meeting comes after the City of Thunder Bay requested outside boards bring forward no operating increases in 2024, something Bradicus says wasn't possible.
Really, it's not appropriate for that request, and so the city charges more than $5 million in property taxes, and with a 6% increase on that, we also pay $1.7 million in sewer and water, and a 3% increase on that. Right there, there's no way we could keep it to zero.
With higher levels of government covering the majority of the budget, these increases will cost the City of Thunder Bay $400,000 more than in 2023. The DSAB budget is up for ratification next month. Vasilios Bellis, TBT News.
2 people have been arrested for what Thunder Bay police are calling a serious case of elder abuse. It's alleged that a 45-year-old man and a 41-year-old woman abused an elderly woman for more than a year, from February 2022 through April of 2023. The 2 accused are charged with failing to provide the necessities of life, forcible confinement, assault, breach of trust, theft against someone over whom they held a power of attorney, and fraud over $5,000. The pair has been released with a future court date.
The Indigenous Friendship Centre is expanding its local operation.
The organization has purchased the old Bank of Montreal building on the corner of Red River and Court Street and plans to operate several programs there by the summer of 2025. Jessica Clement has the details.
The Indigenous Friendship Centre will soon be operating out of 2 buildings. Executive Director Charlene Baglian has confirmed that they purchased the old BMO building in the city's downtown North Core.
It's very exciting. We have been working towards this for many, many years, and we're at a place right now where we can actually expand our services and offer to the community a more accessible location.
The BMO branch on Red River Road closed its doors in early 2021 and has been vacant ever since. Baglian says they hope to use the building for their justice programs, literacy and basic skills program, as well as providing an area for their healing and wellness programming. Board of Directors Vice President Derek West says the expansion project has been 6 years in the making, adding that they found the downtown Port Arthur location the best for clients.
When the site came up on Red River Road, which is the former BMO building, it was uniquely positioned within a core, which really shows high visibility in an area to provide those core services that we do for the community that we're serving.
During the moving process, Baglian says they'll also be looking for more employees.
We are going to need additional some maintenance, perhaps some reception staff. We are going to move over, I think, 2 managers over to that location as well for supervision.
And while they do own the building, they currently don't have a set timeline for when it'll be up and running.
Right now, we are currently in the process of working with an architect to redesign the building. So we're not looking probably at least a year minimally, maybe the spring or summer of 2025.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
The township of Ignace must soon decide whether it wants to be the host community for Canada's high-level nuclear waste.
A delegation from the area has just returned from a trip to Finland, where a similar facility is nearing completion. Lee Noonan has more.
The high-level nuclear waste facility in Yrjönkäsi, Finland will be the world's first deep geological repository for spent nuclear fuel. It's a similar project to the one being proposed in Ignace, although it's decades further along, with construction nearing completion. Ignace councillor Jody DeFio says the trip really helped her see how big a deal the project is and how physically massive.
The scope of what is underground was absolutely amazing. It was tidy. There were rooms for mechanics, the robotics, the functionality of what is down there, the sheer scope of machinery.
DeFio was one of 2 Ignace councillors on the trip, with municipal staff and private citizens also represented.
You get to see the tunneling that's been done there already. A massive facility. Got to touch the rock surface 433 meters below ground.
The levels of safety, of course, in nuclear are really totally nuclear. They're way up here. But the consistency between countries is amazing.
The Ignace delegates we spoke with all said they were in favor of the deep geological repository before the trip, and that seeing the finished facility has only reinforced their confidence. Delegates from other nearby communities also joined the trip. Dryden Mayor Jack Harrison said he has mixed feelings about the possibility of a nuclear facility in the region.
We are not very well versed in nuclear power. It's new to us. We're hydroelectric. We bill ourselves as a wilderness community, hunting and fishing.
One of the biggest differences between Ignace and the finished facility is the long-standing presence of nuclear power plants in Yrjönkäsi. Both Harrison and the Ignace delegates noted the high levels of trust and acceptance they saw among the Finnish residents.
To talk with community members in that community who were all very engaged and pleasant and talked about how putting information forward and talking about the project and making sure that everyone was well informed give them a sense of inclusion in helping them make that decision.
The Ignace delegation is planning a public presentation that should be happening in the community within the next few weeks. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
Ontario is boosting wages for early childhood educators in an effort to ease a labor shortage.
Entry pay was already slated to go up to $20 an hour in January, but today Education Minister Stephen Lecce announced that hourly rate will now increase to nearly $24. Siobhan Morris explains.
A little creativity at the craft table before the Education Minister hit the gas on a plan to boost the pay for registered early childhood educators. A move that could be critical to filling huge staffing gaps, putting the promise of $10 a day daycare at risk.
We see this as a way to enable childcare fee reduction by increasing access to the workforce, shoring them up, supporting them as we should.
Starting January 1st, entry pay for RECEs was supposed to go up to $20 an hour. Now it'll be close to $24.
It is not going far enough. It is not a long-term solution, but it will make a positive impact for a lot of registered early childhood educators.
Powell and other advocates have been calling for salary ranges between $30 and $40 an hour.
This represents a 19% increase in year one with a commitment to increase wages by $1 per hour, which is commensurate with the agreement we have with CUPE in our schools for those ECs.
To prevent them from bolting for schools instead, where they could earn more. But Powell says it's about more than pay.
That they can see a full career in this, that there's leadership and growth opportunities. And a lot of those factors are still missing. The details aren't really there.
There are plans to help people get into the job more quickly and an ad campaign to show off the profession.
We do believe that this comprehensive 5-pillar plan is going to help meet the needs and bridge those gaps to help us achieve 86,000 additional spaces by year 2026.
A lot is riding on this plan working.
If we don't have those workers in those places are going to be empty, and we're not going to be able to fulfill the $10 a day childcare program successfully,
Leaving parents in the lurch.
That was CTV's Siobhan Morris reporting. New rules are also coming in the new year for Ontario childcare operators, aimed at preventing rare but horrific deaths of children in hot cars. As of January 1st, licensed home daycares and childcare centres will need to develop a policy setting out the steps they'll take when a child doesn't arrive as expected. Researchers from the University of Toronto and the Hospital for Sick Children found that under certain circumstances, forgetting a child in the backseat of a car can happen to anyone.
The Salvation Army launched its annual Christmas Kettles campaign today. The kickoff event was held at the Journey to Life Centre, where organizers announced this year's fundraising goal and put out a call for community support. The ambitious target is $260,000. The campaign was kick-started with large donations from community partners like Pop's Kettle Corn, Ontario Power Generation, and the Fort William Rotary Club. Salvation Army Executive Director Gary Ferguson notes this is the charity's biggest campaign of the year. The money raised helps fund a variety of programs that impact people across the city.
And the money that we raise throughout this campaign will go through 365 days of the year helping individuals. So the money will go to transitional housing, supportive housing, shelter. It goes towards our food bank, and we also use it for our soup van, which many people see out in the community.
This is the new front line, and people who really need help in situations that most of society isn't familiar with. Just a place to rest your head becomes a fundamental human search.
The kettles can be found at a number of businesses, including the Real Canadian Superstore, Walmart stores, and Intercity Shopping Centre. The campaign runs until December 23rd. There are also new tabletop tap devices that will accept $5 donations. They'll be located at A&W and Beefcake restaurants, as well as select Circle K stores.
Two local organizations launched their annual holiday gift campaigns today, collecting presents for children in need.
Delico announced its 15th annual Christmas Wish program, while the Children's Aid Society began its 35th Holiday Wishes campaign. Josh Morano reports.
Donation trees are on display at all 3 Thunder Bay Walmart locations to support clients with the Children's Aid Society. Snowmen gift tags with names of children, their age, and what they want for Christmas are hung on the donation trees. Shoppers can then choose a gift tag, purchase an age-appropriate gift, and leave it unwrapped for a volunteer to pick up and deliver to the CAS office. The gifts are then wrapped and delivered to youth who receive services. Last year, they provided 320 gifts, and the goal this year is 350.
We believe that every child should be able to open up a gift and be a part of and celebrate the holiday season. And it is through the generosity of our community that has helped us be this successful over the last 35 years.
We're definitely a small community with a big heart. And I think that's the reason why we keep doing this year after year after year. And that's the reason why the community responded really well. Our associates really take pride of, helping them out, because it is for a great cause, and it is for to better our community, and I think that's why we keep doing it.
The Holiday Wishes Tree campaign runs until December 22nd. Meanwhile, at Goods & Co., Delico launched its annual Christmas Wish campaign. Now entering its 15th year, the program provides empty red shopping bags and asks the public to fill them with gifts and other essential items for children in need. Delico spokesperson Blythe Haynen says it's made a huge difference in the community, providing over 8,000 gifts since 2008.
A lot of children's wishes come true just because of the generosity in this community. Some kids that may not be looking for something under the Christmas tree are because this Delico Christmas Wish campaign exists, and we have such a generous community that fills those bags with the most amazing gifts for kids.
Haynen says this year they're hoping to fill 800 bags, with each bag personalized for a specific child. Meanwhile, a special ornament has been created by Nor'Wester Designs, with the proceeds being used to help fill more Christmas wish bags. Delico also has issued a special challenge to the business community, asking 15 businesses to commit to filling 15 bags or more. Josh Morano, TBT News.
It may have not felt like winter outside today, but the Snow Angels program is busy looking for volunteers for the snowy season. The organization helps seniors safely navigate their properties by removing snow from paths, walkways, and stairs during the winter months. The Snow Angels already have 40 active volunteers, but need even more to handle the 100 clients currently on the waiting list. Volunteer coordinator Tessa Hetrick says there's always a need for the Snow Angels, and it's never too late to get involved.
There is no cutoff. We will accept people at anybody at any time, especially recently we haven't been seeing a lot of snowfall in Thunder Bay until after Christmas. So we will definitely be taking people as we can get them. We do have a lot of people who have continuously come to be part of the program. So obviously it is a high need for people.
There will be 2 volunteer recruitment sessions at the 55 Plus Center on November 25th and the 29th.
A little bit tough to get B-roll when you're talking about shoveling snow, Fiona, when the temperature gets to 15 degrees. My goodness, this does not feel like November.
No. And you'd think that would be a record. Believe it or not, it was not today. We did not see a record. It was about a degree off from the record. But that's after starting out with a low below the freezing mark at -2. Now, winds, they were also kind of swinging quite a bit. We started out from the east, just 4 kilometers per hour. In the afternoon, it started to rotate around, come in from the west, and gusts up to 43 kilometers an hour. So we've got a lot of change moving through the region. Also seeing change, Fort Frances, they had dry conditions. They topped out with a high of 8 this afternoon. Actually, it was probably closer to about noon hour. And then temperatures have just been falling since then. They're currently at their low for the day of 0 under some light snow. Similar cool temperatures up into Kenora and Dryden below the freezing mark and Red Lake. However, temperatures have been falling steadily in Red Lake today with light snow throughout. They're currently experiencing a wind chill of about -5. Similar temperatures as you head eastward into Sioux Lookout at -1, Armstrong at 0. Greenstone topped out with a high of 8 for about 3 hours around the noon time and some sunshine. However, in the last few hours, temperatures have been falling and they're now dealing with rain along the North Shore, well on the plus side. In fact, Marathon in the double digits at 10, as is Sault Ste. Marie. They, I believe they did hit a record today. They topped out with a high of 15.8, and unofficially, that appears to be a new record by a good solid degree or so from the old one back in 1988. And that was under mostly cloudy skies. It's been thickening over the skies in the last couple of hours. Here in the city of Thunder Bay, we are going to drop back below the freezing mark again tonight with a low of -3, but winds pretty gusty, up to 60 kilometers per hour at times, and that's going to support wind chills closer to the -9 range. And unfortunately, it's not going to warm up quite as much as we saw today and yesterday. Don't expect any double-digit highs in the region because we've got a lot of colder air pushing in. That windy conditions are going to be moving eastward. But Friday is going to be a bit of a shock to the system. However, it's still going to be above normal, and I'll have more details on that later on in the news hour.
Well, thank you so much, Fiona. Well, the man who killed 4 members of the Afzal family with his truck back in 2021 has been found guilty on all counts. We'll have all those details for you as your Thursday news hour continues.
This verdict represents to us some solace for the crimes that were committed on that fateful day.